What's going on, sports fans? Once again, it's K-Stu the GOAT for Burner Speak Sports, talking mostly about Auburn football and the rest of the SEC. Want to give a shout out to my fearless and true gang. If you're an Auburn fan, you know what fearless and true means. War damn Eagle. I know. Here's the thing. I normally don't talk about basketball. Okay, I'm mostly a football kind of guy. So I know the basketball topic might have caught some of my subscribers off guard. But I saw some things with an interesting trend with the basketball team. And I want you all to follow me on this now and make sure that this makes sense to you. This time last year, the Auburn basketball team was one of the hottest teams in the country at 21-2. As a matter of fact, it looked like a sure shot as a potential. You know, a lot of outlets were predicting Auburn as, you know, really making some noise as far as the Final Four goes. But last year, I didn't quite see what the analysts were seeing. I understood that they were 21-2 and had a very nice hot streak going on. But that 21-2 was a little distorted. They were, you know, the shots were falling. The three-point shots that they rely heavily on were falling. Also, at the time, before things really started to go south for Auburn, they pretty much had a solid, backcourt. They weren't particularly tall, but they were at least 6'8", 6'9", to where they could really effectively battle on the boards, to where they don't fatigue themselves in the big games, kind of like Kentucky or especially Tennessee and another team that was particularly long last year, South Carolina and Texas A&M. So you had some injuries. I really can't recall the names of the individuals because I didn't take that much time to do all the back end research, because that's really not the point of this particular video. But I wanted to show that there's a potential equally opposite surge in Auburn from this year and last year. And I'm going to let you know what I mean by equally opposite. This time last year, Auburn was 21-2, but they kind of went backwards because of some injuries and their lack of effectiveness, especially when it comes to rebounding. Defensive rebounding really was a huge Achilles heel for Auburn down the stretch last year. This year, however, they have a unique opportunity to really to surge at the right time. Because, see, last year they surged kind of quote-unquote at the wrong time. As a matter of fact, they were just holding on for dear life to actually win the SEC championship last year. As a matter of fact, if Tennessee wouldn't, it was either Tennessee or South Carolina. If they wouldn't have lost a late game, then Auburn would not have been the SEC champions. Because of how strong they started, they were literally able to hang on by a thread and win the SEC championship last year. Matter of fact, the first one since I was in school at Auburn back in 1999. So that was a huge thing for them. But then, come first round of the playoffs, just barely making it past Charleston Southern, and then just getting absolutely demolished by Clemson because they had run out. No rebounding. The shots weren't falling anymore. Now, Auburn just recently came off of a huge victory over their arch rivals, Alabama. It was a 20-point victory at Auburn Arena, and this could be the perfect time for Auburn to set the stage for a nice run down the stretch to go into the playoffs very strong. Why do I think they can do this? Well, first of all, they're a lot taller than they were last year. Rebounding is a lot more solid than it was last year. Number two, of the games that they've lost some relatively close games that could have gone either way. So what they need to do down the stretch, these games that are kind of on the bubble, like that 3-point loss to South Carolina or that 2-point loss to Kentucky, they have to convert those bad boys into victories, right? To give them that solid edge to where they at least qualify or they're eligible for the NCAA tournament. And they also have the opportunity, if not the opportunity to make some noise, to make a run to win the SEC, which I think is a little far-fetched, but they have the opportunity to carry some momentum going into the SEC tournament to where they could possibly steal a SEC tournament championship. Now, all of this is smoke and mirrors for right now because the surge is not quite started yet. But I wanted all the Auburn fans who are watching basketball to kind of see this as a checkpoint. I know you're looking at last year and you're like, man, we were really good last year. Yes, we were really good last year. But this is about the time where things started to take a downswing for Auburn last year. Versus this year, a big victory over Alabama could start an equally opposite swing for them this year. Once again, it's K-Stu the GOAT talking mostly about Auburn football and the rest of the SEC. But I saw something and I had to talk about it as far as basketball goes today, baby. Like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. There's a lot of great sports analyst channels out there, giving you lots of content. I'm one of them. It's several others who I think are some great analysts. You want to get a broad perspective, or especially get an everyday perspective, in some cases non-biased perspective as to what's going on in the sports world. Like I said, once again, it's K-Stu the GOAT for Vernon Speaks Sports. Like, comment, and subscribe. Holla back at you later on.